Save $1 on fresh ground hamburger, only $2.99 a pound. And imported broccoli crowns, just $2.99 per pound. Blue Diamond Almond Breeze Milk, $5.99 for select varieties of 64-ounce cartons. Save $2.16 on Schmidt Old Time Honey Wheat or Spit Top Sliced Bread, $3.99 for a 20-ounce loaf. Arm & Hammer Laundry Detergent, $5.99 for select varieties of 50-ounce bottles. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more super specials.
You can count on us.
The Department of Energy presents the LED Exchange Program. Starting May 1st, you can bring one incandescent bulb to participating retailers and exchange it for a cool, clean, efficient, and money-saving LED light bulb free of charge. Using one 60-watt incandescent bulb for 5 hours a day costs about $46 a year. Switching to an LED bulb will cost you only $6.90 per year. The LED Exchange Initiative will run as long as supplies last, so come and exchange your bulb today. For a list of participating retailers, visit www.gov.bm. Save energy and money by switching to an LED.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Wednesday, May 9th. I'm Jasmine Patterson, and thanks for joining us. A Sands man was today charged in magistrate's court with sexual assault. The 60-year-old man, who cannot be named for legal reasons, denies 2 counts of intruding on the privacy of a woman and sexually assaulting that same woman on the 22nd of August last year. The defendant was ordered to have no contact with the complainant and was bailed in the amount of $5,000 with a like surety. He's due back in court on June 3rd. Elsewhere, the polls are open in the East End as St. George's votes for a new mayor in the municipal elections. At the Old Town, former Mayor Kenneth Bascom believes his track record of achievement in the area will secure his seat, while Councillor George Dowling III has the endorsement of outgoing Mayor Quinnell Francis. Gary Moreno is live in St. George's and spoke with the 2 candidates. Gary?
Good evening, Jasmine, and good evening, viewers. We're coming to you live here from Penrose Wharf, which is actually the polling station for the mayoral election for the town of St. George's. Earlier this afternoon, we spoke with both members of both men, who are contesting the election. They, of course, being the newcomer George Dowling III and a gentleman who I don't want to refer to as an old stager, but who's been in this game for quite a long time now, Mr. Kenneth Bascom. The evening, it's just about 7 o'clock, just a little after 7 o'clock, clearly. The news has just begun. And we expect that the polls will close at around 8 o'clock this evening, and it may take an hour or an hour and a half before all the polls are all the votes, are counted. But let's take a look at or give a listen, to what both candidates had to say to us earlier on today.
I said that I would like to create, with the support of the body, a group that will deal specifically for developing visitors' participation in the town. I don't like to use the word tourist, and I believe that we could work with the tourism authority to create a buzz in this town. You have to be aware that this little town is steeped in history. The gunpowder plot actually took place in St. George. We have Pilot Darrow. We have the young man who was the last casualty of the last war. We have his heart buried in St. Peter's, and I believe that is something that can be built upon to make it an attraction rather than just a little location.
No one enters a race, of course, to lose, and I expect that you would consider yourself, you would have the confidence that you're going to take this one. But I'm not hearing the usual confidence that Kenny Bascom would normally exert.
Well, what you have to say, Mr. Darling, is put a decent platform forward, and a lot of people are saying he's young and full of enthusiasm. So I can only say that it is my desire to win the race.
Now, of course, this may be the last municipal election that will take place if the government gets that legislation, the Municipalities Amendment Act passed. Well, it's just going to sit for 1 year and then it eventually becomes law. Do you believe that is in fact going to be the case?
Well, let me just say this here. There is the case deal going on with Hamilton, and we'll see where that pans out. But as I said to a lady yesterday, I believe that should the government want to take that through. I believe it would be to their advantage to work with whomever the mayor is so that the town does not become into disrepair, and then they will have to spend all sorts of money to bring it back up to scratch.
And his opponent, Mr. Dowling III.
Good evening, sir.
Thanks for being with us. What is your interpretation of what you've seen so far today in terms of the turnout?
The turnout has been pretty sporadic, but for the most part, it's been a pretty stable number, round number. I'm estimating about maybe 230 at this point, but we still have a few hours to go.
Now, of course, you may not hear much from the voters, as Mr. Bascom suggested today, but what did you hear in the run-up to today's polls from the voters, from the Burgesses of St. George's, in terms of what they would like to see done for the old town?
Well, they would like improvements in infrastructure. They would like to see us manage the World Heritage Site, better communication from the townsfolk as well, and from the corporation, vice versa.
Refresh our memories as to what your platform was in the lead-up here, or what your platform was for this mayoral election.
The main one was a comprehensive draft of a town plan supporting that, managing the UNESCO World Heritage Site. In addition, improved communication between the corporation and the townspeople of St. George. It was also revitalizing the town, dynamic ways to generate revenue for the town. And the last one was just around improving communication.
There is a suggestion, or there is a thought, that you seem to enjoy the support of the current MPs for the area as well as the outgoing mayor. How do you respond to that?
I'm humbled by the support I've received from the entire community.
In other words, you're their favorite.
Well, I'm thankful that if that be the case, that I'm their favorite. I'm humbled and thankful for that.
Mr. Bascom is, of course, running again, and this is probably his, I'm not even sure how many mayoral elections he's running in St. George's. He had a number of initiatives that he had spoken about, that he had championed in the past, such as the marina and so on. What do you see yourself, or what is it that, I don't want to say you've promised the people, but what would you be your main initiative in the aftermath of these polls?
My main initiative surrounds my platform, going back to the development and supporting the development of the town plan. The town plan is going to lay the groundwork for any other initiatives that we're going to accomplish going forward.
How much of that plan is in keeping with government's proposal for the old town?
A fair percentage of it, but at this point, that's not really on the table. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
And Jasmine, both Mr. Dowling and Mr. Bascom continue to press the flesh, so to speak, for the last few voters that are coming in here. Again, the polls will be open until just about 8 o'clock. Interestingly, though, there may be another election down here in St. George's probably in the next 2 months or so, from what I've been told, or in the next few weeks, because there is still a vacancy for a residential councillor down here in the municipality. So again, there could be another election we're hearing in a couple of weeks' time following this, of course. So once the polls close at 8 o'clock, then the ballots have to be counted, and that may not end until 9:30 or 10 o'clock. I'm hoping that it will finish closer to 9 o'clock, because as a Somerset supporter, that's the curfew that I've been given to get out of town, as they say. Jasmine?
Well, thank you, Gary. Once again, Gary Moreno reporting live from Penno's Wharf. And we'll have more for you after this short break, including all the latest weather news. Stay with us.
Hey Smokey, let's get lunch from the Marketplace food court.
You know what? That sounds good.
They have oxtails, pumpkin, curried lamb, lemon chicken, sweet and sour ribs, vegetable stir fry, and the variety goes on.
Their chefs are good. They'll set you right up with all the good carvings.
And don't forget the special dishes from the islands.
It don't matter. No matter what you feel like eating, Marketplace will have it.
You know, it's quick, it's quality, and at prices you can count on.
Visit us 7 days a week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Made for you daily at the Hamilton Marketplace Food Court.
Thanks for staying with us. The numbers are in for the island's GDP, or gross domestic product, for the fourth quarter of 2019. They show growth in the Bermuda economy, and as Tarai Trott reports, growth appears to have been driven by a surplus in trade and goods and services.
Last week, I reported the results.
According to Cabinet Office Minister Wayne Ferbert, the 2018 fourth quarter GDP data shows positive growth for the Bermuda economy.
Today, I'm happy to report the 2018 fourth quarter GDP and constant prices indicates that our economy has experienced a third quarter of positive growth. Our 2018 fourth quarter GDP increased year over year by 1.5%. In other words, $1.15 billion. In other words, if you add the value of all final goods and services produced in the fourth quarter, it comes to $1.15 billion. Here are a few of the year-over-year highlights from the fourth quarter GDP publication. Growth was driven mostly by an increase in the net surplus on trade in goods and services like financial services. This surplus balance on trade in goods and services increased by 24.8%, which equates to $30.4 million. Gross capital formation, which reflects investment in construction and machinery and equipment, increased 1.5%.
The level of inflation decreased 0.2% from the 1.3% measured in January 2019 to 1.1% in February this year. The rent sector rose 0.5% for the month between January and February 2019, and the average cost of household repair materials increased 3.7%.
Minister, you state that the government has made progress on stimulating the economy. Does that mean we're on the road to returning to a state that we were in before the recession hit?
When you talk about going back to 2008, 2006, and 2007,
yes,
I can't say that's exactly where we will return, but we are making progress further than where we are currently right now. You may remember last year the government put in place a stimulus package, and what I mean by that is that we encourage business who come here, they'll be receiving a 3-year tax breaks for the employer. I can report that that number for individuals as far as is up over last year, and that's where the stimulation takes place. They buy goods and services, and so that's what has helped to, I believe, has impacted the economy.
The minister's statement that government is making progress where it concerns stimulating the economy, examined by a member of the media.
Could you tell me which specific policies you're referring to?
Well, I just mentioned it. Last year in the budget, the minister mentioned that we will give tax exemption for employers who hire new individuals. That number had to be taken as of March 31st. So any increase in staffing from April 1st going forward, matter of fact, we only implemented, I believe, in July or August last year. I can tell you that number has increased by just under 200 people. And so that's why I believe as far as one of the packages we have put in place.
And thanks to Rai Weather now, let's go to the AccuWeather headquarters for the latest.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and as we turn the page to get closer to the weekend, we actually have some pretty nice weather in store for you here. You can see we have a boundary just off to our south. There's also going to be a weak boundary tonight pushing its way from the north to the south, and that will give us just a stray opportunity for a shower. And then eventually our next chance for rain isn't going to be until early next week. So a pretty nice stretch of weather that we have here. You can see conditions right now over the island, nice and quiet. But again, maybe a stray shower overnight tonight. It's not going to be a big deal, but there will be the opportunity for at least a shower. Temperatures right now are sitting in the low 70s. Hopefully you enjoyed your Thursday here. We have winds coming in out of the northeast, 16 to 20 knots, so a little bit breezy out there. And because of that, we do still have some marine alerts at least ongoing through this evening, and then improvements out on the water as we get into the weekend here. Waves inside of the reef are running between 1 and 2 feet, outside of the reef between 3 and 6 feet, and the water is nice and comfortable sitting in the mid-70s. So as I mentioned, we do have some marine alerts, at least just one, a small craft warning, and that is through late this evening, generally improving conditions as we get into Friday and also into the weekend, and the weather's looking very beautiful as well. So if you're here for vacation and you're heading out toward the water, not a bad spot to be. We have our tidal times right over here. We have our high tide coming in just into your early Friday morning, just before 1 a.m. Now, the forecast, you can see that we are expecting breezy conditions for tonight. We're not even putting the shower here into the forecast just because it's going to be spotty at best. Overall, it should be a partly cloudy night tonight with a low of 63 degrees and just a stray chance for a shower. Into tomorrow, you can see that it's still going to be a bit on the breezy side. Sunshine and clouds, a high of 71 degrees. And as we look at our future cast here, as we get ready to head into the weekend, I know we have Mother's Day coming up on Sunday. If you're doing something with mom this weekend, it's a good time to be outdoors. High pressure will keep things nice and dry as we get through your Friday. Also Saturday, the next storm is going to take a little while to move off the East Coast, and that will be our troublemaker as we head into early next week. Looking at some troubling weather here into Jamaica, showers and thunderstorms, 86 degrees there. Also nice and warm, at least temperature-wise, in Barbados and Trinidad, but the typical afternoon and evening spotty showers are out there. If you're doing any traveling, here's a look at the travel outlook into tomorrow. We will have some rain along the East Coast into Atlanta, also looking a little bit wet there in London tomorrow. Your extended forecast, again, a beautiful stretch of weather here Saturday and Sunday. Temperatures climbing to 77 degrees as we wrap up the weekend, and then late Monday night into Tuesday, that's when we'll watch for our next chance of rain.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Business magnate Brian Dupereau has put his name forward to help turn around the plight of the troubled Project Action charity, which continues to struggle to raise funds to operate. Charity chairperson Cindy Swan announced that Mr. Dupereau will be an honorary director of the charity. She is hoping his vast success in business will help put the transportation charity back on a good footing.
I feel like it's a big coup for Project Action to get Brian as our honorary director. Our past honorary director passed away, which was Reggie Burrows. And so we've been looking for an honorary director for the past 2 years. And Brian came to mind because Brian, when I read his bio, Brian and I are both devout practicing Catholics who were taught by Jesuits. And I saw in Brian's bio that he gives a lot of credit to his Catholic school background, and so do I. What it means for Project Action is that Brian has a lot of connections throughout the business world, not only in Bermuda. I mean, he's an international known name. And as Project Action approaches our 20th year in existence, and we haven't had sufficient funds to hire a full-time driver as of yet, I'd like to say thank you to Mrs. DeShields, because she has been doing the volunteer driving for us, and she's been doing it on weekends, getting the seniors out to church and different senior functions on weekends.
As you've just seen, Project Action uses specialized vans to transport the elderly and those with physical disabilities to their appointments and to other important places. Mrs. Swan says the charity's last appeal aimed at the corporate sector did not go as well as hoped.
So I'm here again appealing to the corporate section of Bermuda to try and help us out, help us keep the wheels rolling. I mean, because that's the only way that we can continue this vital free transportation service.
And specifically, you need funds to hire a full-time driver.
Yes.
That's the issue right now.
Yes, specifically that's what we need. We need funds to hire a full-time driver.
To learn more about Project Action, call 535-9801. And still to come, Earl Baisden will have all the latest sports news in just a few.
got these for seasickness last week, and they're terrible.
That's strange.
I know. I put one behind each ear like you're supposed to, and nothing happened.
These are tablets. You're meant to take them with water.
I got this pump for my asthma. Hasn't changed anything.
Show me how you're using it. It's an inhaler. You're meant to breathe it in.
Well, this toothpaste, definitely off.
It's a hemorrhoid cream.
Well, that explains why my gums are shrinking.
Every home tells a story. Your story is all yours.
Big kid, too cool. I make my own rules.
Wherever you live, whatever your style, express yourself.
My style says what's up. Don't wanna ever grow up.
So many styles to help tell your story and create your unique dream home.
We're gonna stand out, break away from the crowd.
Start shopping for furniture at U.S. prices today. Lifestyle Furniture is Bermuda's newest furniture store and is proud to be the home of the #1 furniture company in the world, Ashley Furniture. Visit lifestylefurniture.bm or stop by our showrooms today. Lifestyle Furniture, this is home.
Bermuda's Kelsey Dorm claimed his first victory in a professional racing regatta during the 69th Argo Group Gold Cup. Jillian Teixeira and Tyler Lopes finished up in an international horse jumping event in the Netherlands, and the 17th year of the Renaissance Reed Junior Gold Cup got underway in the Great Sound. Earl Basin has the details and much more in tonight's sports report.
Ian Williams won the initial round-robin stage of the Argo Group Gold Cup going on in the Hamilton Harbor, and he would advance to the quarterfinals as the #1 seed. Meanwhile, Bermuda's Kelsey Dorm defeated Australia's Tovar Mertzky for his first victory in a professional match racing regatta. Dorm and his crew won the start and fended off Mertzky around the first lap and then extended around the second lap for what turned out to be an easy win. Williams is joined in the quarterfinals by Mertzky and Harry Price, as well as Johnny Burtson. Mertzky finished the round robin at 8-3. The same record as Price, while Burtson advanced with a 7-4 record. Mertzky wound up at the #2 seed because he beat Price in their match. The 17th year of the Renaissance Reed Junior Gold Cup got underway on the Great Sound. 4 races were held on day 1, with George Lee Roche from New Zealand leading with 9 points. In second place is the first female sailor, Maria Garcia Vegas Travalli from Peru, who has 18 points. Sebastian Kemp is leading the Bermuda fleet and is in third place with 21 points. The Wednesday night sailing series continued in the Hamilton Harbor yesterday evening with 19 boats going to the start line for race day 3. Nasty Medicine was the first boat to cross the line on the night, clocking a time of 46:02, but with their corrected time of 50:13, so them finish 6th on the night. Winning on a corrected time of 46:53 was Smokin' after they clocked a time of 50:43. Air Force was second on the night with a corrected time of 47:11, while Man of War finished third on the night with a corrected time of 47:56. The 2019 Antigua-Bermuda Yacht Race set off from Antigua yesterday. A perfect start in brilliant sunshine and 20 knots of wind combined to produce spectacular conditions for the international fleet. Close to 100 sailors from across the globe are taking part in the 935 nautical mile offshore race from Antigua to Bermuda. Delray Rollins and his Sussex Seconds teammates trailed Somerset Seconds by 214 runs with 3 wickets remaining in the first inning of their Second 11 Championship South Group 3-day match. Rain delayed the start of day 2, and when play did get started, Sussex was constantly under pressure. They started the day at 13 for 3 after 6 overs, and when the day came to an end, they had lost another 4 wickets over a 32-over period. Rollins was out for 18 off of 26 deliveries, hitting 4 fours. Harbour swimmers continued their record-breaking streak recently at the National Sports Centre following an outstanding showing at the Carifta Swimming Championships in Barbados. During the Carifta Swimming Championships, Jack Harvey broke the boys' 15 to 16 age group 100-meter backstroke record in a time of 1:02.49. Finn Mosley broke the boys' 13 to 14 age group 50-meter backstroke record time, clocking 29:33. Sam Williamson broke the boys' 13 to 14 age group record in the 400-meter IM in a time of 4:55.73. He would also break the age group 50-meter breaststroke record time, clocking 31:52. Williamson broke the age group 100-meter breaststroke record with a time of 1:09.77 and the age group 200-meter breaststroke record time of 2:29.15. During the Schroeder Spring Long Course Championships at the National Sports Center, Allison Shearer, Lindsay Shearer, Zebedee Wakely, and Caleb Ingham broke the 15-16 mixed age group national record in the 4x100-meter freestyle relay in a time of 4:08.17, eclipsing the previous record by over 17 seconds. The 15-16 mixed 4x100-meter medley relay team of Allison Shearer, Maisha Sharif, Zebedee Wakely, and Caleb Ingham broke another record in a time of 4:53.59, the previous record being 5:18.75. The Bermuda Basketball League continued inside the Bermuda College Gymnasium last evening with a doubleheader that produced 220 points on the night. In Game 1, the Pembroke Skyforce defeated the Hamilton Parish Rockets 69-39. For a second game in a row, Gershon Kirk would lead the Pembroke Skyforce to victory with another double-double. Kirk would score 31 points and grab 19 rebounds. He would add 1 assist, 5 steals, and 4 block shots. John Lee had a double-double for the Hamilton Parish Rockets. Lee scored 11 points, grabbed 18 rebounds. He would have 7 assists and 1 steal. Game 2 saw the Hamilton City Twisters defeat the St. George's Hoopstars 65-47. A total of 65 runs crossed the plate in the latest round of the Bermuda Softball Association League season as play continued at the Michael Priest Softball Diamond with a triple header. In the opener, the Blue Hawahoos defeated the Expats 10-6, while the Sea Venture shut out Docksiders 15-0 in the second game. Then, Hakuna Matata Charters went down 21-13 to the Parakeet Flyers. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
You can count on us.
Fresh Harvestland boneless chicken breast, $7.99 per pound for all varieties. Save $3 on juicy red ripe strawberries, $4.99 for a 1-pound package. Save $1 on fresh Portuguese rolls, $4.99 for a package of 6. A sweet treat, Magnum ice cream bars, $5.39 for a 3-pack. 20% off all varieties and sizes of Rachel Ray's pet food. Visit our website at www.marketplace.bm for more super specials.
You can count on us.
I'm Tony Waterman. Coming up on The Breakdown this week.
10,000 attendees, 400 exhibitors from more than 70 countries, and a Sheryl Crow concert. We recap the risk management event of the year and talk about the coveted prize Bermuda walked away with. Up in smoke, lessons to be learned from Canada's cannabis policy and some of the biggest pitfalls governments are falling into as medicinal and recreational pot hit the mainstream. Plus, a look at what's being done to turn Bermuda into a year-round destination.
That's Thursday at 8 p.m. on ZBM TV 9.
There are now more than 30 countries across the globe which have legalized the medical use of marijuana, including Bermuda. The conversation is now turning more towards regulation, taxes, and insurance. Tonight on The Breakdown, Tony Waterman sits down with one of the world's leading cannabis researchers. One of the things they talked about, pricing, and how high prices are driving some users into the illicit market.
There have been reports in Canada where these taxes have actually made legal marijuana much more expensive than it is on the black market, which would completely be the opposite impact that any government would want.
Yeah, no, and any economist will tell you that that price is a critical point. If it's more expensive than the black market, people will simply stay there. And if one of the major drivers of the whole process were to move people from an illicit market to the legal market, then obviously price is one thing, but it's not the only thing. Quality is another thing. It has to be competing with the illicit market in terms of quality. They have to get products that are meeting their needs, and then finally access has to be easy to get to. So good quality, accessible products, and competitive on price.
You can catch that entire interview and more on The Breakdown with Tony Waterman tonight at 8 o'clock on ZBM TV 9. That's all from us this evening. Thanks for joining us. Good night.
Jasmine Patterson's wardrobe and makeup is provided by Gibbons Company.